Hey, everybody. I am just gonna give people another minute or two to join us. Seeing some familiar names in that attendee list. Glad you could all join us today. All right. One more sip of coffee. Good morning. Welcome to the next in our series of origin reports. Today we're going to be talking with Volcafe Guatemala. I would always encourage you to go follow their Instagram. It's great and gives a lot of updates about what they're working on, and it is at Volcafe Guatemala, easy to find. So today we're going to start with some intros. You're going to learn everybody who's on this call. We're going to have a presentation talking about some of the geography and stats from the producing regions in Guatemala that Genuine Origin works with. We are going to talk about La Morena coming back for another year. We will be talking about producer challenges, how Volcafe Guatemala and Volcafe Way are on the ground working to support producers. We'll be talking about upcoming lots, some discussion about quality, varieties, and processing. So first things first, who the heck's here? Hi, I'm Jen Hurd of Genuine Origin. I'm the West Coast sales manager. I'm based in Portland, Oregon, and I just finished a iced Oatly mocha that I picked up from a local cafe. So we're gonna do this in the order that everybody's on my screen, which is different. So first, Cindy, you're up.
Hey guys, good morning. Cindy here. I am the Southern rep for Genuine Origin and coming at you from Houston while I sip on a delightful cup of our Kenya Kariga AB.
Yum.
Yum.
All right. Thank you. Rob, you're next.
Hi, everybody. I'm Rob Solkow. I'm the digital marketing manager at Genuine Origin based in New York City, based out of my home these days. So happy to be here on a call with the sales team and with our team in Guatemala. So happy to see them safe and happy and healthy. I'm drinking Yirgacheffe Natural these days and also breaking in some new Caboclo with that.
Yum. I always get jealous during this part. Just a couple of quick housekeeping notes as well. Yes, please put questions in the chat and we will get to them. There's the Ask a Question feature and there are going to be a couple of polls, so stay tuned for those as well. Next. All right, Maria, that's you.
Hi, my name is Maria. I am assistant manager here at Volcafe Guatemala, and I'm drinking nice Antigua berries.
Also some good brand representation there.
Yeah.
All right, Carlos.
Hello, my name is Carlos Umansor. I am specialty coffee trader here at Volcafe Guatemala as well. And I am drinking an anaerobic processed coffee from a local coffee shop.
Awesome. All right, Eduardo, you're next. And muted.
Okay. Hi, how are you? I'm Eduardo Cabrera. I'm purchase manager here at Volcafe Guatemala. And now I do have a cup of coffee from one of our regions, one of my favorite regions, which is Cubulco.
Excellent. And finally, Roberto.
Hi, my name is Roberto Cardona, and I'm the Farmer Support Organization leader for Peter Schoenfeld, Volcafe Guatemala. And I'm currently drinking a bit of fried Hannes from a farm called San Victor.
Excellent. Thank you all so much for taking the time to put together this info and to join us today. I know that if y'all have been around working with Genuine Origin for more than a year or so, I know there's a few of you that have actually traveled with me to Guatemala. I was fortunate enough to get to take a couple trips and drive everyone crazy down there and break things, but still here to tell the tale. And so we appreciate everybody's support. We appreciate all of you who are taking the time to tune in this morning. So on that note, Carlos, I'm going to turn it over to you and your presentation.
Thanks, Jen. Okay, so we'll start with a couple of general facts and information about Guatemala. So to begin with, Guatemala has a population of around a little bit more than 17 million people with an almost 2% growth rate. The language, the vast majority of the language spoken here is Spanish, with a differentiation that it has around 23 native dialects, most of them derived from Mayan language. We have a land area of 108,000 square kilometers, where 30% of that is agriculturally used for products that are exported, like we're going to see later, but coffee, banana, cardamom are one of them as well. Our currency is the quetzal. As you can see in the top of the presentation, there's a beautiful quetzal picture. Compared to the dollar, we have around 7.77 quetzales for a dollar. The political system is a democratic republic, and we just had a new elected president, Alejandro Yamatei, as of January of this year. Inflation rates tend to go from 2.9% above. Our GDP is about $78 billion, with a gross domestic product of around $4,500 per capita as well. Sorry, I skipped it. Our main exports are bananas, as I told you, coffee, sugar, and cardamom. The economic structure of the country is composed of agricultural being 13%, industry 15%, manufacturing 18%, and services 54%, which is basically the most coming income for the country. So a little bit more of coffee. Guatemala, according to data that is presented by Anacafe and our data as well, we have that there are around 502,000 hectares of planted area in Guatemala, which is a 5% of the total area of Guate as well. A production of 7.4 bags of 60 kilograms in average in between all of these producers. Some of the data says we have at least 12 labor days are needed to produce a bag of 46 kilograms of green coffee, or a quintal as we call it. So it's a lot of work that goes into putting a bag of coffee from scratch, from farm to exporting. We have around 120,000 producers, actively producers, maybe more or increasing every day. Most of them are small producers, and then small size farms, which are around anything above 5 hectares, are considered a small to medium sized farms, and big farms that are 0.5%, which are anything above 20 to and above hectares per producer. There are currently 91 coffee exporters. 45 of us are currently active. And there is an average of around $630 million of dollars incoming every year for coffee sales. 50% of the economically active population depends on coffee. These are temporary workers as well during the harvest, in between dryers, in between pickers, in between people that do coffee as an extra agricultural activity. So our main growing areas in Guatemala, I'm going to discuss them briefly, but Cobán in the north of Guatemala, New Oriente, it's located towards the border with Honduras. Frejanes, Antigua, and Acatenango, which are towards the center, and Atitlan and San Marcos towards the Mexican side of the country. So we have 8 growing main regions determined by Anacafe. 5 of them are volcanic regions. So we have a lot of profiles that's why Guatemala is known for having a lot of chocolatey and strong body cup flavors, because most of its profiles and most of its coffee comes from volcanic regions. And Huehuetenango, of course. Sorry. So a little bit of us. We have mills. Our main office is located in Guatemala City. We have a milling, a dry mill in El Trébol, and warehouse where we receive coffee coming in Barberena and in Antigua and in Huehuetenango as well. So everything gets milled in a centered line of exporting, which is El Trébol, and a little bit goes in our mill in Pastores as well in Antigua. So here's a picture of our facilities, a little bit of a glance of what it's like to be inside one of them. These is pictures of our new rebranded, refurbished, let's say, wet mill in Antigua. We just installed a whole new system of wet mill, which increased our efficiencies and quality as well. So we're very excited about that and trying that this year. This is more of Antigua. Everything in Antigua is dried in patios, for your information, and it's handpicked by women. We have a selection of around 100 women during the harvest that are picking every defect and every lot that is exported out of Pastores. So about our specialty branch, we decided to focus and to create a little bit more attention into our specialty department, which is what I am currently doing during this crop. And we have come up with a new set of logos and a set of like a new image that will portray this specialty approach that we're having. So as you can see in the screen, we named it Banla Café, which is in a dialect or a language in Ixil that means good coffee or specialty coffee. So we had to go to many traductions and to many people that will confirm this is actually true, so we don't do any mistakes on it, but we decided it would be appropriate since most of our specialty coffees and very good lots come from producers that are natively Mayan-speaking language. There you go. That's a little bit more of what I said. So in this note, we've created 8 premium brands, starting with Monja Blanca, which is in the region of Coban. Then Jade Reserve, which is, Roberto, this is the department, Cubulco in Baja Verapaz. We've decided to group according to profiles into these brands. So we have Jade Reserve, we have Golden Flakes of the Humay and Green Valleys of the Chortiz as well. In the region of Antigua, La Gloria and Pastores. In the region of Guatemala, let's say, department and Escuintla, we have Machimon. And in the Huehuetenango region, we have Misty Mountains. So we have a total of 8 brands that were carefully tailor made, let's say, to a certain profile that will each be distinctively different from each other. And we believe that we are trying to make a name for each one of these lots and these profiles, so that people would recognize these brands and will adequate them to a profile of their taste. So addition to those 8 brands, we have the most famous brand called La Morena, which is basically our rock star of this year and past years as well. We call them brands with a purpose because they are usually tied to a charity or to something beneficial working towards the coffee producers and the farmers behind it. So this coffee is 100% produced by women in the Volcafe Way program. It's its fifth year, a consecutive fifth year in growing in quality and in volume as well. And this year we teamed up with a ONG called Wakami. So Wakami is popular in Guatemala and internationally known for it's like fashionable wear, let's say. In between them are bracelets and scarves and like wear made by women that are in growing their business, their local business, let's say. So this year we partnered up with them to make these bracelets that we are all carrying around. If you see Maria Rene over there, and we bought. Well, Maria Rene will talk about that later, I think. So I will leave that to her. And another brand with the purpose that we're doing is Café Puma, which is we partnered with other ONG called the Pantera organization. They are in charge of conserving and protecting the pumas that are in regions where coffee grows. So the organization is in charge of teaching farmers and local communities to not poach on pumas and to show them how to coexist and to see them as basically friends in their habitat and not as something to hunt, for example. So a little bit of Guatemala. The next slides, I'm going to pass them over to Roberto Cardona, which is our FSO leader. He will speak about what are these lots that we are currently giving to or showcasing in Genuine Origin, and a little bit of the demographics and a bit of the information of each producer or the community itself.
Hey, thank you, Carlos, for all the information. Just to give you a bit of a background on our team here in Guatemala, our field team. We're composed of 6 TCAs, or technical commercial assistants, that are spread around the country. Our main regions are Huehuetenango, San Marcos, Guatemala, Escuintla, and we're starting up in Santa Rosa a little bit, and of course, Baja Verapaz with Cobulco. With these 6 TCAs, we have 2 coordinators that are overseeing the operation in their specific regions. More or less, they have 3 TCAs under their command, and that's what I take care of, right? These eight guys, and make sure that everything is going on smoothly. Our first slide is talking about La Morena. We have currently 23 farms from Huehuetenango. It's spread all around the department of Huehuetenango. You see that we have the average age is around 50 years old. They still have 2 children under 18 and 2 family members over 18 years of age. Actually, we have, excuse me, I have this right here. We have top varietals for the La Morena are Caturra, Bourbon, Pache, and in all others we have Catimores, and we have Geishas and Maragoguipes and all these fantastic varieties that we can find in Huehue, right? Then for the next slide, please, Carlos. So we have a comparison between 2006, when we started out with the La Morena micro lot, and then the comparison to what we have until now. It's worth to be noted that in 2016, we only had around 4 to 6 farmers involved in the group, and now we are up to 23, and there are more people, more women eager to join us with this this particular model and program that we're starting out to have a little bit of speed on or traction in moving this coffee, because it's really interesting program. In comparison with the agricultural and harvest, post-harvest and administrative costs, we have a significant increase in harvest and post-harvest. This is obviously because we have an increase in production. So that productivity is shown on the increase in harvest and post-harvest increasing. What we have is that in the first year, we collected the data for the first lot, and the reorganization and better distribution of costs at farm level lead to a better productivity of the farms. This is meaning that we're starting to implement what the Volcafe way is based on, which is the how we call it, God, I forgot the sustainability part.
Sustainable profitability.
Sustainable profitability. I forgot the profitability word.
I have
Sorry.
Carlos Ortiz whispering in my ear.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, sustainable profitability, right? So that's the basis of what we're seeing here, that we're starting to see increasing productivity in the farmers, and that we are looking for a sustained increase, and that the production stays stable throughout the time, right? For the next slide, Cobulco, we have at the moment 93 farms, 51 years of age average. Also, we have 2 children under 18 and 2 family members over 18 years of age. Here we have more Catimors, Catuais, and Sarchimors, and because this is an area that's a bit newer than the rest of the country, right? This is an area that has around 15 years of age in total, the coffee area, right? They are maintaining themselves throughout agricultural purposes, right? They all do agriculture, most of them, half of them, or they work in other farms as well. Cobulco has the particularity, if that word exists in English, that farmers from Cobulco migrate to the south for the sugarcane plantations to harvest, and then they come back now in May, to take care of their own plantations in Cobulco. That's a very particular part of this region. Next one. So here as well, we see the 2006 comparison against 2020, right? We have been having increases in production that it's reflected in harvest and post-harvest increase in production. The agricultural distribution is also very similar to what we have, but the area is, since it's pretty new, it has very little support from the government or support from other institutions that can service a little bit of technical assistance. So this has been very positive for us, because they also appreciate more that we are arriving to the farms and telling them, or trying to work together to see a better way of making things in the farm. So their lack of knowledge, if you can say, it's positive for us, so we can add value to their coffee plantations, and we are hoping that next year we will increase the number of farmers and volume from Cobulco in a very large way, right? Next, okay. Candelaria. This is our Go Candelaria. So we have 51 years of age, same average as before. We have more Caturas, Bourbons, and Paches in top varietals. Candelaria also has the particularity that has larger average farms, which is not the condition of the department itself, right? We have more relationship with bigger farmers, right? And if you pass to the other one, Carlos, the comparison here also is the comparison here with these slides is that changes have been a little bit less obvious because farmers here are very, very large, and it's complicated for them to adapt to changes, right? San Vicente Pacaya, it's our origin that is nearer to Guatemala City, right? And San Vicente Pacaya has more farmers as well. Again, 48 years of age. Old varietals and also new varietals coming in as Catimor and Sarchimors. Next. Here the comparison is that San Vicente Pacaya has been evolving into more avocado plantations for around 15 to 10 years already. So they have abandoned a little bit the coffee plantations, and here the key part that we are trying to, or the strategy that we are following is that we are trying to establish new or renewal of old plantations into the new systems that we're bringing with the Volcafe way. Okay, so that's why the comparison here is a little bit very low productivity, and the changes are very slow because new plantations have to come into production this year. Okay. Apps and tech. We use this app, which is called TrackVia. All of our team members are with this application. We enter all the basic information of farms or farmers, and all the information that we gather for the checklists or what we call the analysis of the farm, where we are taking all the costs and see how much is the cost of production for each farm, right? And everything is located with GPS waypoint, so we can track them, and whoever wants to come in and see the waypoints, they can come in and track all the locations of the farms. Yeah. So thank you. And any questions?
Thank you, Roberto. I remember getting to see that app last time I was there, and it did kind of blow my mind. I was like, I can't believe how much information is in there. It must be a lot of work. So I would love to hear more about La Morena, and because it's been a big thing for us, and I know it's a thing we're very excited to support. You talked about there were four to six producers in the program at the beginning, and now we're up to about 24. How did that happen? How, like, are people just seeing that it's been more effective and it's helping with their production and hopefully what they're making on coffee? How have you been able to add so many producers?
Yeah, well, at the beginning was a little bit complicated because people obviously don't have the knowledge, or they don't trust us. You know, it's normal human condition that you don't trust at first hand, right? So at the beginning, maybe these 4 farmers were actually our model farmers that we started with. We have 4 model farmers here in Huehuetenango. They were the first to come in to provide the coffee for us. And then this is like a, how you say it? The bola de nieve, snowball, right? So this is like, started the first year. People are always communicating and talking, and we're always having trainings, and the guys are always in the field and talking and trying to make things happen, right? So the next year, what we said is that because the TCAs have also their own mothers also have a bit of coffee, and their wives maybe. So then we increased a little bit with 4 or 5 farmers, because they were the mother or wife of our TCAs, right? They are taking a little bit of that. And then the people that are neighboring, they saw that they have better condition, and they are starting to work with the farm, and the results are getting better. They don't have this biannuality thing that this year I'm producing a lot, and next year I'm producing less. And so, and the condition of the farmers, you see that it's increasing, right? They have like you see the I would say the prosperity that's coming into a family, right? So that's the thing that's starting to convince more people to come in to join us, actually. Yeah, so that's kind of cool.
Excellent, thank you. And I know Maria, you and I have also first, I just see that people are starting to submit questions. Excellent, because I was just going to remind you all to start submitting questions. We may hold some of them till later. We may answer some of them as we go along. But Maria, I know you and I have talked about this, because I think coffee people are probably familiar with wakame, even if they don't know it, because I seem to recall you told me they also make the braided bands that go on Ranzacapa rum.
Yeah.
Okay. So coffee people might be familiar. So how did you partner up with Wakame for this, and what is that going to achieve?
Okay, so for this year, we were thinking, how can this, since La Morena has grown so much, we start selling 88 boxes, and now we have a full container. So how can we help other women that are in need in our country? Most of them are artisans, and Wakame Foundation, what they do is that they empower them and help them do a formal business and give them access to clients. For example, one of them were the ladies that do the thing in the zacapa. I know most of you have tried our zacapa rum, and you can see that the bottle is wrapped in a beautiful, how you say, like knitting thing. So they established a formal company, and now, of course, they are all a profitable company. So we partnered with them, and we said we want to help them, but we don't want to donate money, or I think it's a cool idea that we bought from them. We designed together, I'm going to show you live, the bracelet.
Oh, I was going to say, do we need to get rid of the slideshow in order for people to see Maria's video with her bracelet?
I don't know. Let's see if you can.
There we go.
See here. Okay.
Thank you.
So we designed together this beautiful bracelet that you can also wear it as a necklace. We designed them together with them, and you have the red braided here that symbolizes the cherry coffee, the parchment coffee, and the green coffee, and also the brown, of course, of the roasted beans. And here you have a beautiful charm with our La Morena logo. And what this symbolizes is that Volcafe is, here you can see our Volcafe logo, sorry. It's wrapping up this. So we are in the whole supply chain. We are contacting the farmers directly, the female farmers. I'm here in the trading, helping them, and you guys are there selling them. So it's very nice. So we bought from them 700 bracelets. So they start a business of the bracelet. each bracelet's about $10.
That's
So
awesome.
that's the way we are helping them.
Cool. Thank you. And a quick note also, we're getting a lot of questions about COVID and that impact. We are going to be holding a separate webinar about Volcafe Way in the future, where we are going to talk very extensively about that. So if we don't spend a lot of time on it today, that's why. Thank you, Maria.
Thank you.
Cindy,
Hey,
did you
guys.
want to jump in?
Yeah, thanks for the great presentation. I'm curious a little bit more about the community lots that you guys put together. Is it a farmer group? It seems like it's region specific. Would love to know more about that. And also, how does that tie into Volcafe Way?
Yeah, so I'm gonna get into this. The community lots, let's say, are programs that are firsthand specific to a community or to a group of producers within a community or a village, which is an even smaller region than a community, you know. So there's not, these producers are not necessarily legally organized, or they are a part of a big co-op or a caja rural, as we call them, but they are organized, they're collectively organized in the same profile or in the same attributes that we have found in the quality of the coffee. So a community lot basically it can be anything from a small group of producers in a small village, and we can scale it up towards being a lot representing all the deliveries from a whole community or a whole town, or even to a whole department. So for now, La Morena has, I understand in the beginning, La Morena was a lot made up of women producers from all over Guatemala, not necessarily Huehuetenango. And then it started growing into being a cluster specifically for Huehuetenango region. So the good thing about this is that it's very dynamic. It can expand and it can contract, making it very detail oriented or very micro lot way, or the general goal of Volcafe Way and how Volcafe Way ties everything to it is that we try to expand it to a department level, to bring a community to a higher level in which where we can replicate and involve as much farmers as we can without compromising the quality.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And a quick note, because it's popped up a few times, we will be shipping those awesome bracelets to La Morena buyers, and La Morena is online now for pre-order, and it should be shipping in 4 to 6 weeks or so. And we will go over that again at the end, but for those urgent needs. So I feel like, Roberto, you got into so much stuff in that presentation. Can you give us maybe some of the broad strokes for the different regions on what's really working and affecting change?
Okay.
There you are.
Unmute. Thank you. Okay, so as broad, well, the Volcafe Way is its concept and its on the program is based on sustainable profitability. This is what's causing the change into the farms, where we're starting, for instance, large scope farmers don't have any records, they don't have knowledge of how much is the cost of production, and they don't have a proper system of how to manage their farm properly, which means that they don't have any budgets and they don't have any way to control their costs, right? So what we're trying to do is to implement that by saying that what you need to do is to get into a system that allows you to take control into what you can control, which is the way you manage your farm, the way you manage your labor, and the way you manage your inputs, right? And administrative costs as well, which will impact your production and productivity in the farm, and hopefully, and it's happening, the quality of the coffee that you're bringing into the company. Yeah.
Hey, Roberto, I just wanted to quickly ask about the tissue management system with Volcafe Way. I know that the origin report specified that a lot of farmers move right from harvest to tissue management. Can you just briefly touch on that and what that exactly is?
Yeah, the tissue management system, we like to call it like the backbone of our program. Yeah. We see that without tissue management, we cannot, as I said earlier, we cannot control our productivity. We cannot control our inputs. We cannot control our labor, because this is a factory, coffee factory. So what we need to produce every year is a lot of branches, because in the branches of the coffee, we have the flowers, and the flowers produce the fruit. So if we don't have new branches every year, we're not going to produce any coffee, right? So that's the concept that we're trying to implement into the farmers, that they need to focus on producing branches so they can have a harvest, right? So the tissue management is, as it says, is a system where systematically we're coming every year doing the same thing into the farm in a certain way that we are guaranteeing that the farm is going to produce the same amount of branches every year. That will enable the farmer to have the ability to make budgets, right? So they can have control of their costs, and if they control their costs, they can see if they're making any money or not. So that's a little bit of what we're trying to do in the farms, right? For that purpose, we have model farms. We started out with model farms in each region, right? Where we are taking all the data of the farm, and we're giving a lot of support to these farms so we can use them as a showroom, right? This showroom helps us to bring more farmers into this, this program. And we have had very good results, because we started with about 15 model farms. And these are, you know, in these 4 years of implementation, we have now 125 replicas, which means that they are replicating the activities that they saw in the model farm, right? So this is very cool to see, because people are getting convinced of what we're saying in the farm, that we're not telling anything that it's rocket science, but it's something that it can be implemented by each one, right?
Cool. Thank you for sharing. Rob's going to be putting a poll up, so please check that. Oh, there it is. Guatemala roasting poll. Please click all those buttons and let us know what your situation with Guatemala coffee is.
All right, to leave us back around, in the report, it talked about how farmers working, you know, in our community lot program have seen an increase in profitability. Touched a little bit on it with the tissue management. What are the other ways that they are kind of being successful in the program?
What other ways? That's a good press. You know, this is for me, or for whom? For me, yeah. So
whoever's got the info.
No. Could you repeat the question a little bit? I guess
essentially referencing the report and how it was stating that working with the community lot program, farmers have seen an increase in profitability and more success in their growing, and just kind of looking for more details on how that's actually happening. What is contributing to this increased profitability and success aside from tissue management?
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. So the thing is that I know it's complicated to explain like just like this, but that, as I said, with the tissue management, we have the reduction of costs or efficiency in looking at the costs, because farmers usually do things randomly each year, right? So it's kind of today I have something to do, I don't remember, and I will go to the farm and just do whatever I think it's something that I need to do. But with the tissue management system, we can go and say, in March 10, I need to go to do this particular job. So, for instance, in labor, this is very efficient, because what we say is that a family can take care of a hectare of coffee, for instance, or 2 hectares perfectly, only going on the weekends, right? And if they go only on the weekends, they have the whole week to do other stuff that they can guarantee their own survival, right? So that's one of the things that we're trying to do with that. Also, productivity, you see the increase because you're always seeing the growth of new branches, as I said. So this is impacting directly to the production of cherries, right? Which is what we are trying to drink, all of us, right? And the other part would be quality. Quality is really being impacted because also the nutrition, all the package that comes with the system improves the quality of the coffee, because you have a better implementation of nutrients, better condition of applying fertilizer, for instance, or spraying for fungicides if you need to, weed control also. So this is impacting directly to the quality of the coffee. And I need to clarify that we as Volcafe, we don't specifically focus on the quality in the cup, but it's also been, we can see in Cobulco, for instance, that the profile of the coffee there has improved because of the harvesting trainings that we're having, and the post-harvest treatment of the coffee that has impacted directly into the cup, right?
Thank you. That's awesome.
So on that note, now what we all want to know, and I am including myself in that statement, and I think this is a question for everybody that wants to jump in. Tell us about the upcoming coffees. Like, we know Cobulco, you're really looking at sweetness. Eduardo, I know you're drinking some this morning. Tell us what you're cupping, what you're seeing, what we can expect this year. All right, come on, Maria, Carlos, Eduardo, somebody's got to jump in. I haven't tasted the coffee, so I can't say anything.
Carlos?
Okay. So, I'm most excited, or no, I am basically obviously tilted towards loving La Morena because of its history and because of the immense quality attributes it has, and unfortunately I can't compare it to last year's, but I was told that it was just as good as it is. But I am liking a lot Cobulco's because it was a particular thing this season or this year that we started classifying it in order of sweetness and in order of, or in intensity of its sweetness. We not only told, oh, this is a Jose Melchor's coffee and this is good and it was already good last year, but this particular delivery was very like a sweet or more towards a honey sweet, or so we started identifying and separating them into these categories that made us like challenge ourselves into a whole new spectrum of profiles and possibilities that we can separate later, you know. So yeah, it is this year put up into cubulcos, but as I was talking in the community lots earlier, they can be extrapolated into a micro lot or a different type of sweetness or an attribute that we can exponentialize maybe a little bit more.
Awesome. I know it's been interesting having been at Genuine Origin for a little over 3 years now. My favorite community lot has changed every year. So I'm just excited to taste everything and see what I fall in love with this time. And if anybody wants to know, we do still have some Cubulco and Pastores from the 2019s that are still really lovely sweet coffees, and they're on the website now. So I did see a question from the audience that I thought was really interesting, and I would love to open it up to all of you again. And it's, what's motivating you every day right now? If you can boil it down to like one sentence, what is motivating you?
Let's see, I'm gonna go first. So for me, working La Morena, it's been an awesome ride. I didn't know it will become the platform for the women to showcase their coffees as it has become. And I am excited to see the tangible results they are getting. It's not just nice coffee, it's tangible profitability for them. So when you see the tangible results, it's motivating, of course.
Anybody else?
Yes. For us, well, for me particularly, it's very gratifying to go to the field and see all the work that the team is implementing, and how we have changed farms that were completely destroyed and see them now evolving into something like a real future for somebody. That's something that is very, very awesome to see. So that's what motivates me and the team, I believe, to go into the field every day.
For me, maybe, you know, it was already a good experience coming into Guatemala from Honduras, and already knowing what Volcafe Way does to the profitability of farmers. And especially now with all this situation in COVID, it motivates me even more to be a sense of like hope and to help producers, to be there with them and to help them promote their coffee in these times of stress. So it's basically more of a challenge for us to be there, not only when things are great, but when things are bad situations like this year. So yeah, that's what motivates me, the distress times and being able to be there and to come through in this crop.
I feel like that's how a lot of us get into coffee, is at the core of it, we want to help people. So I hear that a lot. And Eduardo, would you like to add?
Yeah, for me, it's really about the people, the relationships that you build during your time in coffee. Basically, a lot of them become friends, and so it's very strong relationships. Being able to help them connect with the consumers and the end buyers of their coffee, and connect also the buyers with the producers. It's very important. It's very important that everyone knows how the whole supply chain works and develops, and that everyone is helping everyone, even though they are not sometimes near. So that's very important for me.
That's lovely. I think we're gonna start wrapping things up. Time flies. Rob's gonna throw a final poll up, so stick around for that. I will also mention, I saw a question in the chat about roast profiles, and we don't give specific roast profiles for coffees because there's way too many variables, but that's absolutely a thing that you should reach out to Jay or Cindy or myself to discuss. Our contact info is all on the website on the Contact Us page, and we would love to chat in more detail about what you're trying to do with coffee and how we can help you get there. So again, thank you all so much. I feel like my annual Guatemala trip, I really missed it this February. But it's been really lovely to get to connect with everyone this way. And we appreciate you taking the time and sharing all of this information. As far as coffee goes, because that's what we all want to know about, a lot of our Guatemalas are on the water right now. We're expecting, like I said, with the La Morena, we're expecting shipping to be available in 4 to 6 weeks. Keep your eyes on the afloat page on the website. Keep in touch with Jay and Cindy and myself for updates on samples. And again, we still have Cabuco and Pastores available if you can't wait. Other coffees that are afloat, we have Costa Rica, we have Honduras. There's a lot of exciting things happening, and we will be doing more of these webinars. If there's stuff you want to hear about, you want to see, please hit us up. So you can reserve Guatemalas now, and you don't pay for coffee until it ships. I will say it until I am blue in the face. That's how future ship date orders work. You don't pay us right now. Feel free to hit us up if you need help walking through that process. And I think that's going to wrap it up this time. So major thanks to all of you who joined us to watch. If you missed any of it, it will get posted on our YouTube later. I know that's how I catch up with some of our stuff. So make sure to check that out. And we're all very excited to continue sharing these coffees with you. So thanks, everybody. See you next time.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, bye-bye.